welcome, welcome. So on such a cold day, I have made daddies. These ones are also made by me. You can order. Okay, now those are going to be bad manners, eating while talking, but what can we say? So if I may ask, what is this thing for? Because I don't know, am I supposed to keep lifting it, or yeah, if you know how they do it, kindly tell me, because I don't know, I can't keep up, So as I was coming today, of course in the coldness, of course in the jam, if you stay in Kampala, then you know, I was thinking, there are things that our grandparents held so dear to them, and let me remove this because now I look like a professor, but these things were important items in their lives, and not just grandparents who were born, we found these things there, and they meant a lot in our homes. Guys, I know if you have grown up in a village setup, or you have come across these items, and if you have come across these items, we need to share this. You need to comment in the section below. You need to tell me more what you know, so that we make this conversation interactive. Yeah. And if you're new here, by the way, guys, you're most welcome to this channel. This is about to become your home. If you've been a part of this family, I love you so much. You are the reason we are here. I don't know why today my shoulders are doing this. I don't know. Maybe it is the excitement that you guys, I am seeing you again after a long time. Can you imagine that? So they too are excited, but the movement is so much, guys. I cannot even keep it up. So yeah, so ignore this too. Like I was saying, why not remind ourselves of the things that we used to have in our household? So I'm going to start with number one, the cup. The cup that your grandmother used to hold. Yes, I mean that cup. So if you know that you have been in a village, there is that particular cup that your grandmother always used to have tea in. So for us at home, it started with this kind of aluminium cup. Yeah, it was as if a saucepan, but not a saucepan. It is aluminium. After, then they introduced to this other enamel cup. I don't know if that is the right word, but it is an enamel cup. I hope it is the right thing. In our local language, they used to call them pass. Pass. You know that one. I think till date, my grandma still has one that she kept, but of course now these ones could leak. With time, you keep rubbing it down, so it gets damaged and it starts leaking also. Right now, I am not sure because I've not really been keen on which cup she's using, but yeah. So if you know it, give me a thumbs up. Okay, two, I'm going to talk about a pot. A pot for beans, guys. I have grown up seeing beans being cooked in a pot. This whole name of cooking beans in a saucepan, I feel like it takes even a longer time, but anyway, we had a pot for beans. And then with time, they bought a saucepan. I think they had started getting some small monies. So one day we are there, and then my father comes back with, I do not know it in English, I don't know if it is aluminium or what, but we call it in Ngogolaya. So this thing, we used to use it for beans. Right now, things have really shifted. I think people are using pressure cookers and they say it is faster. I myself am still using a Ngogolaya. I have not graduated to a pressure cooker. The third item is combs. Hey, yes, I mean combs for natural hair, because I had so many cousin sisters and they were growing natural hair, especially when they went to secondary schools. Wow, we had combs. Even my mom, yes, I remember my mom used to have some natural hair. Right now she has settled for the short hair, and yeah, she looks amazing in it. But those days she really used to have long natural hair. Now the member has changed, and if you can see the type of combs we are having, a variety. Item number 4 was the lamps. So the lamps have really evolved, guys, and you know that. So I remember one time we used to cook so early. We used to cook so early so that we can eat when it is still not dark. And of course, with the rugambo that happens, then we started eating around the fireplace. So we are in the kitchen, they put the fire, you're eating, so the fire is providing light. And then they brought this other lamp. It was not a lamp. Okay, call it a katadova in my vernacular. I don't know how that is called, but I'm going to put it down here. And now we didn't have to worry about cooking so early. So after that, we got the glass lamps that have the glass. So the other one has no glass, so a wind can easily blow it away. But now they brought the glass ones, or they were there, but we hadn't bought them. So they brought the glass one, and yeah, it also uses kerosene, and After the pressure lamp, now everyone is in electricity and things are well. Item number 5 that we had to have in our homes, if you had in some money, so this was not a reserve for the poor, no, it was for those ones that have small monies, was the radio cassette. So this one had both radio and it had also the part for playing music. And then I remember the tapes. So we did not have that, we just had a radio. But I had an uncle who had it. So each time it was Christmas time, guys, they would come with it and with the tapes. The tapes have side A and side B. Yeah. And then they play it. And then I remember there's that part where it stops and then you get a pen and you do that. I don't know what was that, but I think it was for rewinding. If you wanted to be rewinded, if you want it to be forwarded, you do this. You forward it manually and then you put it and it plays actually. And then 6, I don't know if it is 6 or what, the cooking area. So we started with the 3, it was a 3-stone cooking area. We still use that in my village. Things have not changed, but of course I moved in Kampala and things changed. I think every household in Kampala has to do with the cooking stones are for the village because one, they require more space, and plus it is dirty. Okay, even the sigil is dirty, but the other one is hard to maintain in a small space. But I'm glad that with the innovation, things have changed and now people are using electric cookers. Wow. But I feel like the food cooked using the cooking stones is still better and best. Item number 7, I'm going to go with the iron. Passy is what I mean. So you all know that pass or that iron. I prefer calling it pass because that is our local way. If you have grown up in the village, you definitely must have one in your village. It uses charcoal. You have to time it. You can't burn your clothes. It only deals with hard clothes. If you're ironing small simple clothes, the ones that have a thin layer, you need to add like 3 of the hard layers so that you can iron the small one on top. So we have evolved them. I one day visited my uncle. It's not like I'm advertising anything, but they had a Philips iron, so like a small dry one with like a red mark when it is lighting. Yes. And now things have changed. We even have steam irons. And then I've also seen the garment steamer. I mean, you just get and you steam the cloth and the cloth is straight. If you grew up in the 90s and the 80s, I belong to the 90s, please, I'm not that old, you must have come across that metallic torch. Wow. And sometimes I see people saying that if you use that and you're not yet married, but guys, we are babies. These things moved up like 1997, yeah, so we are still young. If you were in a village or even in towns, or if you have grown up in the 90s, my friend, you must have seen the metallic torch. So after that, they introduced something that it was plastic, but in the full resemblance of the metallic torch. And we used to use tiger head for batteries. You guys need to give me money for advertising the shit. Yeah. So that was also a must have. And then item number 10 were the bowls. So these days there are these all kind of bowls, these small ones for the soup bowl, something like I don't even know. They name them all these names, but for us in our home we had something called orwabia. And I don't know how they call it in English, but all I know is that it was made out of clay. I'm putting it down. It was used for shabwe, yes. Up now I think in those traditional functions we still use it for shabwe, but also it was not just for shabwe, no. It was also used for sauce, beans. If you cook meat, your father had it from the orabia, that bowl that I just put down there, so that it keeps it warm because it is clay, but also there's a way it connects your soup. You know, I think these people who made these soup bowls these days, they just copy from that, you know. And like I said, forgive my, I don't know, I think I should just do this when I feel I'm done with it or I'm good with it, I just stop. But shit. 11, the chair. Guys, the chair that your father had to sit on, the chair that your grandfather had. I mean, it was only for them. It was not for any other member of the family. For us who grew up back then, we only sat on the mulched house and put hides and skins. We never sat on that chair. That chair was for our father. That chair belonged to our grandfather. So if you still have both of them, then they're the only people who have that chair in the home. Yeah, that chair. Hit me up if you remember that chair. Yeah. Number 12, the broom. So right now there are all sorts of brooms. Soft brooms, hard brooms. What brooms have names? Long broom, short broom, cowboy broom. Then it was just one broom, and it was gotten from a certain kind of one plant, and it had that hard broom, and it just knew all corners, guys. For me, in my language, we got it from a plant called omchondeza. So the broom, each time we had to have that broom. If you know omchondeza, guys, hit a like, let me know. And if you've watched this video from the beginning up to now, thank you so much. I love you so much. God bless you. And if you're new here, continue subscribing, like, comment, tap on that bell so that each time we upload, you don't miss out. There is a funnel. So I think every home was a must have a funnel. A funnel is very useful, and I think for us at home it was so important because one, we were using it for putting water in the jerrycans and pots when it rained and fetching water, and two, we were good at brewing alcohol, the local alcohol. So we used to use that when you're removing that juice, shandy, and putting it into dome, and it is made out of a calabash. Along the way, because it breaks so easily, they introduced the metallic one, and eel, the plastic guys, got something better, so started using the plastic funnels. But I feel like the other one, it really meant a lot, especially to my papa. 14, the knife. Every home then had just something called the knife. So if you're from the western part of Uganda, then you probably know that we do a lot of millet farming, and at that point towards November, December, January is the time for harvesting millet. So each and every household has those knives to date. If they are still carrying out that, they have those knives specifically for harvesting millet, and when the time for harvest is done, they are kept until the next year when we are harvesting the same thing. So these knives are kind of carved. I think I've seen the same knives in the Turkana culture. Turkana or Turkana, I don't know, but I've seen the same knives there. So they are kind of curved, and then they have something like a small ring. I do not know the science behind, but they were good with cutting millet. And last but not least, the granary. Yes, this was a must-have, guys. Every home, even now. And the granary is so important. And for us, we use it for storing dry things, dry harvests, the millet, the maize, the beans, the sorghum, the soya, the everything dry. You put it there. But I think the granary is so important. Still to date, I think even the government should have granaries. Just saying. Just a tradition from the old tradition. So if you watch this video from the beginning up to now, I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for supporting me. Guys, thank you for loving this kind of content. And if you love this one, I promise you that I'm going to come back with more of the things that were held dear in our households. Probably some of them are still there. Probably some of them are not. But each time I remember these things, they remind me a lot. And I know you too, it reminds you a lot of your culture. Thank you so much, guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, comment, like, hit that notification bell, and see you in the next video. I love you. And again,